We're just connecting now, so just getting started, I think. Excellent. I think we're good to go. Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the YR webinar series. Today, we are joined by David Gohel, and he's joining us from Paris. And he's going to be presenting on Officer, which is a great set of, well, a great package and a great set of packages, including some of the other things for creating Word documents and PowerPoint documents with R, something I use a lot myself, and it's something I'm very excited about. David actually joined us last week as well, so this is his second presentation. Last week he was joining us on Flextable, and I encourage you to actually look at both, have a look over that table, that package as well, because that is a fantastic package, and I use them quite a lot. Joining me today is my colleague Urja. Urja is joining us from India, and we're delighted to have you. So Urja is, yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Urja. Nice to join.
Good stuff. So Urja is going to be helping out with the Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, put them in on the chat. And so first off, actually, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Jumping Rivers. Jumping Rivers are great supporters of the R community, and they sponsored us and loads of other events quite a bit over the last few years. Jumping Rivers are a data science consultancy and training company based in the northeast of England in Newcastle upon Tyne. And we're very appreciative of their contribution. Something we always like to do is find out where everyone is joining us from, because we really get a great sense of the R community by just looking around the world and seeing how far and how vast the R community is. So here we have Ireland, India, and France, and also the YR is based in Poland. But also people all around the world. We really get a great sense of joy when we see how many people are joining us from around the world. Also, a special shout out to the R user groups joining us. So there's several R user groups are joining us today. So Barcelona, Berlin, Vienna, Athens, I believe, several in the UK. We're great. We're grateful that you're of your continuing support. If you're in the chat there, please say hello, and we will. We'd be very appreciative of it. David, I think I will hand over to you, and I'll leave you to it. So, folks, remember to leave your questions there. I'm gonna go mute and so on, and hand you over to David there.
Hello, thank you for inviting me a second time. Thank you also to the sponsor for making a wire sponsor possible. So I'm gonna talk about Officer, let's say officeverse, a set of package for creating Word on PowerPoint document with R. So quickly about me. I am creating some open source. So this is something I like to do, and I have created a ggiraph, Officer, officedown. So Officer and officedown will be our main subject this evening, plus other package, flextable, which was the subject of the previous talk. So I'm working for ArData, and we managed to find time to maintain and create package. It's a fun part of our work. So let's have a short introduction on Officer. I don't have 1 hour is not enough to cover all the things that have been done during these last years. So I will only show few important bits, but there are many things I cannot show. So we will have a short introduction. So first, why Officer? So Officer have been developed to make easier the production of Word on PowerPoint from R. So when it started, it was a very long time ago. So I was working with Jean-François Collin in L'Oréal. It was a funny situation because he was frustrated to have to wait a lot of time before to have some modification in a program script made with SAS. And he asked me, I was consultant for me, how much time to do such things with R. And he was like, I just want word, and I want some table, some plot, and some title, and some table of contents. And we decided to try for during 2 weeks, and it was okay. It was part of the work I was paid for. So that was the first how to say that, the first draft of the package. So the first name was reporter, but it has totally been rewrote as officer. And as soon as it started, there were a lot of interest from customer and user, mainly people from clinical area for clinical reporting, for example. And what the request of Jean-François also was, I just want to code that in R. Please make it easy. I want to call some code on end of the story. So that's how Officer has been created with these ideas. So let's a quick overview in few points. You can create some Word document. You can append things to document. The output support is table, plots, ggplots, titles, table of contents, many different things. There is a support for section to create landscape or 2-column section in Word. We'll see that in short demos. Same for PowerPoint. You can create document and append to this document or append to existing document. You can organize a slide. You can add some content in the slide. And same support for tables, ggplot, standard graphics, flextable, paragraph, many different things. Since few months, there is since almost 2 years maybe, there is a R Markdown support. So the work has been implemented in officedown, but mainly things are in Officer. But officedown is a R Markdown format to have some enriched Word document with R Markdown, better than with the classical one. There are many extensions like RVGs that can create some editable vector graphic, flextable. I talked about that last week. Some office chart can be generated. So real office chart in PowerPoint and Word and Excel, but that's supported. And the fifth part is also now, as for flextable, I have written a new documentation where everything is organized, and there are a lot of examples on illustration. So that's also part of the software now. A huge documentation, something better for the user. So it started a long time ago, as I said, and there has been a rewriting in 2017. So sorry for the users that were using reporters, but it became such a mess to maintain. I was beginner when I start beginner with R package, modern R package. So I made a lot of mistakes. And it was depending on Java, and there was a lot of problem of maintenance. So I was very happy to decide to kill the project and to rewrite that in Officer. I did not kill it, but when an issue occurred on the CRAN, I decided to not repair it and to put all my effort in Officer. Also, wrong copy paste. 2 years ago, I tried to make a better integration with R Markdown. A lot of people, myself included, like to use R Markdown for my report, for my proposal when I'm working for some people. I'm trying to work for some customer. So I wanted something better with R Markdown. So officeverse, I saw that on Twitter. I was like, oh, good idea. It's a collection of R package designed to generate Word and PowerPoint. There are officer package, flextable package, officedown package, RVG package, and MS chart package. Okay, this one is not maintained actually, but the maintenance will be resumed soon. Hopefully, and that's a very good news. I just didn't have time until now to work on that. So let's have a quick view on that. So that's the documentation I showed early. And that's the point about vector graphics. So let's click on the result. So with that graph, with that code, I can produce that graph. And I can zoom. I can zoom. It's like a SVG. It's scalable vector graphics. So the resolution is quite good. But it's also made of shape that the user can edit. So the purpose is not to let user delete the points they don't want to see. Okay, sorry. But to let them add some annotation. Say, I want a longer title. Okay, I want that title to be red. I want to wait. Come on. Add some annotation like okay, so you get the point. It's totally editable. So that's what RVG is doing. So the idea is just to wrap the call of your ggplot or standard plot in function DML, and then to use that with the API I will present soon. So that's part of the officeverse. Officer chart. This is what will be resumed soon. Let's see the result. So that is a real Microsoft chart. What I mean by there is you have the data with the graph. So the final user, whatever is your final user, can edit the data. Okay, let's wait. Excel to check I have a license. Okay. And I can change data there and say, no, this is a socket. Okay, why did it not update it? Okay, I did some change, but I can't see it. Okay. Oh, okay, it's okay. So I can change the data, change the graphics, and also have a very good resizing, let the user arrange that on PowerPoint or Excel as he wants. So that's Office Charts. And that's part of the MS Chart package. That small feature, all these features are working thanks to Officer. So let's have a first look at Officer for PowerPoint. So there are verbs on supported output. you have few verbs to actually the API for PowerPoint is really good, I think. It's simple. You can pipe it with Magritte. It's cool. So read PPTX. This returns an object where you can add some output that you can manipulate. It's a representation of the PowerPoint. So it reads nothing, but there is a default argument where you read a default template located in the package. You can read the other document. Then you can add a slide, and on this slide, add some content on a placeholder. So, and finally print it to a file. So this is an illustration there. So I'm creating a ggplot object. I'm creating a flextable. And this is a workflow. So open a connection, a kind of connection, add a slide. So this slide will have a two content layout. Add my first slide as title. This is that. The location of the placeholder that have type title. And add the ggplot at the left location, because this is to contain, there is a left and a right position. And add the flextable at the right position. Finally, write that report in report/first example.powerpoint.pptx, sorry. And this produces that slide. So let's open it in PowerPoint. And this is everything can be updated. You can change the design. That one is not an editable graphics because I did not wrap the code in DML. Okay, that's the first illustration. So now I spoke about something I'm sure not that clear about the argument of read PPTX. So I'll show you why there is this argument. You can use that as a template, but also as a base for the document to be produced. So what's in my template? So to see what's in my template, I can add some slide. Or better, I can go to slide mask. I don't remember the English term, sorry. So this is my design. There, I have changed the color on the font of the title of that slide. So that slide has a layout name. The layout name is diapositive de titre in French. And I have created also this one. So the name of the slide is YR Demo. The title is formatted with green. We can see the logo. I have there some defined placeholder. And also I took time to add some label on this placeholder. So this one is named PH_right. This one is PH_left. And this one is my template shape. Okay. Oh, and I have PH_title. I will reuse that. So there I'm free to compose any layout I want in PowerPoint and to reuse that with Officer. So let's have a look. Closing the mask. Okay. I will not keep that because otherwise it will be on the result. So I'm deleting the only slide. Save the result. That's all. And then I'm adding a slide. So the slide is with the layout YR demo, the one I show you. In the master theme office, I have a French version, so I have accent. So then in the title, I'm adding my first slide. Then I'm adding the ggplot in the location with label ph left, the label I've defined in the template. I can reuse also the ph right label to specify the location where I want my flextable to be draw. And finally, I'm writing the result in this document. Let's download the result and see what the result. So I have my slide in green, my graph, my table. I have the logo with not that much effort. So let's go further. So remember, in that template, I have one shape, one placeholder name. Let's go and see it. I don't remember his name actually. Okay, my template shape. So what I'm showing is quite simple, but you can go and do more complex stuff, like for example, adding a colleague, please read that, and then change the location, use another. So we have, okay, I need to load my library first. And choose the location. So I will use the template. The ID is my template shape. And say left, so 4 inches from the left side, 3 inches from the top side. And then I have other arguments. Okay, let's stop here. Okay. So it wrote that slide where I wrote either, and I reused the form defined before. Okay, that's not the correct form. However, I copy paste the wrong name. I reused a shape for its property, and I put that where I want on the slide. Maybe a bug. So now, so there are many options with that. With this, I can store that. if you want to have a quick overview, this is an object, so you can have many information about that, like the size of the slide, like the summary of the layout. So this gives me all the layout name available in your template and the master name. So here I can see my specific slide template slide. I can have a complete, maybe like this one. I can have a complete view of all the available shape in my template. The type, the labels, is positioned in inches. So the API is full of set of things to add content and to get information about the PowerPoint. So now, Officer forward. So what the verb do you need to know? The verb are more verbose than the one for PowerPoint first. So read docx is the one that initialize the representation of the Word document. Print target equals something. This is the same than for PowerPoint. You write the object in a file, and the file path is given by target argument. And then you have a set too much maybe function to add content, like body add par, just to add some text with any style. Body add gg for adding gg plot, plot for base plot, image for any image you have on your disk, tables, block of text. We will talk about that, blocks on fpar, breaks, caption, and many more. So this is an example of how to do it in forward. So read docx, add this text, my ggplot, with this style. And this style is the name of my style name in Word. I'll show you that later. Add this ggplot and center the plot on the screen. Add a break. Add another paragraph. Add a flextable and print the report. I get this result. And this is what it looks like with Word. Image, title, and as you can see, I mapped the correct name, entity name in my style. So that's the very first example. Let's have a look at the same that what we did with PowerPoint. I made a dummy template. So what's in this template? I have added this in red. So this is from the YR website. I had this logo also from the website in the header. In the footer, I have some page number, the page number. I did other modification. This is how you should use Word if you want to use Officer. So here I have the table style of Word. And I can see, okay, let's filter with only the one of the document. Okay, I can see there is a lot of style. This is what you will use. even if you are using R Markdown, when you are creating a table caption, it will use that table style. It has a name and it has characteristics. So, for example, I've created that style, YR style. It's a paragraph style. It's red. And I don't know, did I define something? Let's add some space before and after. Okay. The title one is with the number before, auto-numbered. Same for the title do, with a reference to the previous title. Okay, these are the characteristics of my document. And now, what I will do, okay, so this is template, yes. So the object is in an object named Z, and I'll view it. So here, this is all you can reuse from a Word document. You can reuse the paragraph style, and these are the style ID, and this is the name you should use in R to use the style name, because there is some computed name with no space. You cannot rely on that. But this one is the one display, is a human one. So this is the one you need to use. So there is paragraph style, but also character style. So it only applies to a chunk of word. Numeric style, so order list or unordered list. And table style. We will reuse all of that. So I'm reusing the style name centered. That style will be used to contain the ggplot. LOYR will be styled with wire style. Okay, that's all. And just don't remember, I've used the template just defined. So this will produce this. This is a miniature. Let's open the real document. So this is the result. It has all the words I have set from R, my page number, etc., etc. So this is cool. This is cool. So this is existing since long time. This is a officer API. This is the first things I've wrote. If you want to go further, you need to go on officeverse. There is a special section. So first you need to read about the template. There is some advice on how it works and things about how it works. I have added some section to explain how to create some new style, because that's not that easy for our user. They don't like Word that much often. And then there is a full section for officer for Word. On all the functions are documented with example, with the option. So for example, you can, how to produce that table. There's an issue with the code. How to produce that document or that title. And each time you have the code that corresponds to the example. So this code is producing that document. Okay. So officeverse is a function for producing some content, and there is some things to produce some really customized content. So it's about blocks and chunks. I try to reuse the same vocabulary of Pandoc. So block is an entity like a paragraph, like a table. It goes somewhere in the document at the first level. And chunk is a piece of a block. Chunk is for example, is a piece of text that you can make bold. So let's have a look at that. We can create some paragraph. Some paragraph can be made of chunk. Chunk can be text, image, etc., etc. So although we need to format that, so there are other functions, but mainly you need to know about FP text and FP par. FP for formatting properties for text and for paragraphs. So here I'm defining formatting properties for some text with font size 40 point. The text will be red and it will be a bold text. This go in variable name red font. And this is an update version of this object where the color is now gray and also the font decoration is italic. And here, this is where I'm creating the formatted paragraph. FPAR is for formatted paragraph. So it contains that text, hello in red font, word in gray font, and that is nothing not associated with formatting properties. So this is a default for default display. Also, I'm adding some instruction about the paragraph, and I say please align the paragraph, center align the paragraph, and added a padding of 5 points around that. So this is what I'm seeing there. I can add that in a document with the previous with the API we saw. So read docx, add fpar, and this is the object here. And this will produce that document with exactly the formatted par in the result. You can download the result here. So I'm not talking about that because it's funny. I'm talking about that because I will show soon how to reuse that with R Markdown also. So section. So something people are really fond of. Sometimes they just don't know they need that also, is section. Often when someone say, I want a layout with that table on that graph, it means they want to use section in Word. That's how Word is working. So this is how section are working in Word. You are the section only apply to the previous content. So you need to close the section. So this is closing the previous section and add the detail for the section there. And the content here will be formatted with that section instruction. Okay, so this is weird, I know, but this is how Word is working. So this is a closing section of the previous. It will apply to that, and it is defined by this instruction. So here I'm saying this will be a colon section with one column of length of width 4 inches, and the other one 2.5 inches with a separator and some space between them. And the type of breaking is continuous. That means don't create new page. This is something newly solved in the development. So, and now I can add that as a block. So this is a block list. I can add that as a block, and this produce that document. Let's open it. It will be clearer. So you see, wow. Let's use that. Okay, it's better when it's programmed, but so I have a section and that's all. I'm in Word. Okay. So why I was showing that this is some quite advanced feature, but these are also now some available feature for R Markdown user. And first I need to talk about officedown. So officedown is an extension. It uses Officer to add some Office of feature to R Markdown forward. So what are the features? Compatibility with the function of the package officer. So all I showed you before, that stuff, for example, add a break colon, add a colon break, is available in R Markdown now. Ability to use the table style and list style defined in the reference docx. So this was a request by the sponsor of this project as a sponsor, being able to use some specific list style. Replacement of caption. All the caption now are real workbook down, and that can be used to be as that can be cross reference. So you click on the link, and it brings you to the table then, or to the plot. So I try to conform at maximum to the syntax provided by book down, so that users don't have to learn new things. And of course, because flextable is my third baby, full support for flextable. So let's have a focus on that. Automated formatted. This was what I'm talking about since a few slides. So the package is doing a lot of automatic tasks, like using a template to format all the data frame instead of using the standard data frame output. Replacing all the style by the style you choose if you choose one, all the list style, transforming all the cross-reference. All of this, you don't have to worry about that. It will be done automatically. Then you can worry about some option. This option are some fine-tuning stuff. So they can be defined in the YAML header. So what can we do? Can be done. So first, there is an item in the YAML header of the R Markdown for tables. So you can choose the table style defined in your Word. So we'll see that soon. The layout, does it auto-fit automatically, or is it a fixed layout with fixed width? Some caption option and some conditional formatting, like the first row, the last row, if the table format is defined. Same for plot. Last option, it's more easy for plot. So the word style name to use for plot, the alignment, and some option for the caption. Same for the list. So here I define a style for the order list and a style for the unordered list. And finally, set caption label. You just have to use to add a chunk option named fig cap or tab cap to specify the label of the caption. Also, if you add a fig ID on tab.id, you can specify also a bookmark that will be reusable as a cross-reference, for example, or as a link. So let's have a demo. So we want to have that document. I will show you quickly all the features we just saw. So table of content, I can create easily table of content. I can add some table of list of figure, for example, or list of table. All this table. Okay, let's. I need to refresh things. Okay, sorry. All this table, they have a auto number caption. You see that it's not table 2 because I wrote it 2. It's table 2 because this is Word that is doing the automatic formatting. Adding some section. As I said before, we can have some two column section. We can also have some landscape section, all from R Markdown code. So this is a flextable I created before. So yes, flextable in Word is easily, all the images are available. Reuse the style we define in the template, like wizard style. So that's the illustration of the list detail I showed before. You see, that's a weird style. This is defined in my list style. So for example, this is the style of this list. I defined that this afternoon. So for example, for the second level, I'm using that symbol. I could use a star, a very red star, a very bigger. Okay. This is it. Okay, this was an ugly choice, however. And finally, the cross-reference. Here I can click on this stuff, for example, this link, and it will bring me to the table directly because the caption is there. So what is the caption? I transform that as a bookmark. So the bookmark is there, for example, table 1. Okay. So yeah, let's have a look at the code. Just to show you what are the options I used. So I'm using the template of Word. So all of this is only R Markdown. This is not me that created this wonderful stuff. So I'm just saying this output will be done with officedown rdocx document, and then it's passing all the needed argument for knitr to knitr. But this one, from this point, it's for officedown. So the table style will be table template. This is a template of my Word document. I need to show you that because this is very important to show what's the name? Table template. Where is it? A lot of suspense to find this table. Sorry. Okay. So this is where I define the template. I can change the border. I can change the font. I can define something that only apply to the last column. The last column need to have a red font. Okay, how it's working. Okay, it's not working. Oh, yeah. I don't know how it's working. Okay, sorry. We have a demo effect. Let's stop there. So here I'm specifying the name of the template I just showed you. Here I'm specifying the name of a paragraph. So this is a paragraph I created where the text is center aligned. But as an image is in a paragraph in Word, you don't have an image like that. it's an image within a paragraph. So you can reuse the style of the paragraph. And then I'm just saying, use that specific stylist I define, and use that other specific stylist I define for unordered list and order list. Here I can reuse some f text. So this is some R chunk code. I'm just saying format officedown with that formatting properties defined there. I can also, if I'm just adding in a paragraph formatting par, it will apply these settings to the paragraph. So these are sugar function, let's say sugar function. This is how to add a table of contents. Table of content only for fig, only for tab. Open a block section, close the block section, etc., etc. This is how to set a caption for the table, and this is how to set a caption and a bookmark. So the bookmark will be labeled with the name cars. Same for box plots, for plots, but there I'm not the author of fig.cap. I think I'm just adding few things to make sure Officer is able to read and to transform. And that's the convention. The convention to bookmark, how bookmark is recommending to write the cross references. Okay. So now let's quickly open that in a Bookdown, because originally it was made to be used with Bookdown. So that's a Bookdown. I hope you know about Bookdown, because I don't have time to detail what it is. But in summary, this is a great package to create some PDF, HTML, Word version all together. I don't know, have a look on Google. Bookdown is just wonderful. So usually in Bookdown, you have a file name underscore output.yaml where you put the parameter. So this is where I put the same things that I used before. The option for the officedown RDocx document. But there, because this is R Markdown, Bookdown, you have to it's a hierarchical call. So I need to use that name in base format. This is the argument expected by Bookdown. And then all the other parameters are the one defined in officedown. So quick word, remember everything is at least roughly documented in this documentation. All the options, all the knitter options are there. And then never forget to load the package in the Markdown, otherwise you won't benefit from the automatic knit print. And then you can use classical things as we saw before. So there are shortcuts, they are documented. This is a shortcut if you don't want to use the R code for creating a talk for all the paragraphs that has name, image, caption. There are other options, but that's all I can say in that time. So please have a look at the documentation. This is quite well documented, and I'm trying to complete at most I can this huge documentation. So there are plans for the future, and I am happy to answer if there are any questions about that. MS Chart is quite a dead project, but I'm very happy. Some people are there will be a restart of the maintenance. So I will have to refactor some few things, I think, but mainly add some documents, some viable and decent documentation. And I want to add some support for officedown, for PowerPoint and for Word. Hopefully it will be possible. I'm not sure yet. Add option to post-process, to let people add anything they want made with Officer at the end of the processing of the R Markdown or the beginning of the R Markdown, so pre-process also. This is something I'd like to navigate to try to see if that can be useful and can be implemented. And finally, this probably will be the first things that will come. Support for section header and footer. Let people define what they want in the header and footer of the Word document. So I leave that for the maintenance. These are links. You can use Stack Overflow to ask questions. I can't always answer, but I'm answering most of them. If you found a bug or if you have a feature request, you can open them on these links. Please add a session info and use the wonderful Reprex package of RStudio. It's helped to create some reproducible example. That's all. I'm happy to answer any question if you have some.
Hi, folks. Thanks very much, David, for doing that. I'll hand over to Urja to sort of see if we have questions. I think we've one or two there in the chat. If you want to start asking questions in the chat, myself and Urja will keep an eye on it. Urja, I'll let you take it away there.
Yep. Thanks, David. That was indeed such a good work. Thank you so much for providing it to the community. So one of the questions I saw in the YouTube was regarding, what's the difference between FP_par and FPAR, basically.
Okay, FP_par mean formatting properties par. These are where you add I want bold, I want underscore, I want that color of text. These are settings that will apply to some text. And FPAR is a representation, is a wrapper to representing a formatted paragraph. I mean, a paragraph will be composed of some text and chunk with their property, but the paragraph is a line of text that end. Okay, let me show you. It will be easier. An FPAR will help you to add this on a document. But to create this, you will have to create a FPAR made of that ftext formatted with nothing specific, that ftext formatted with yellow highlight, and that ftext formatted with nothing. And this paragraph can have a formatting property underscore par associated with it that will say, for example, center. So FP text apply to text, FP par apply to par. I hope it's more clear. It's clear.
So another question we have from Mario is, he's saying that I think that the approach you used in Officer is great and works nicely with the pipes. Maybe we we could collaborate on doing the same for Excel?
Yeah, on Excel, I have made a choice a long time ago to not do a lot of things on this area because there is Open XLSX to create and format document. And it's such a wonderful tool and robust and quick. So I'd like to go there later, but I'm not sure I can bring something, maybe just a wrapper to have the same syntax if you like the syntax. Maybe that would be the solution, yeah. But apart that, I don't feel the need to compete with Open XLSX, which is I'm a consultant, so I have to use it that much a lot. So.
Yeah, fair.
So a wrapper would be a good idea, maybe. Yeah. Open an issue on GitHub with that. You're welcome.
I think the background to that question is there was just something that precedes it was I talked to the maintainer of OpenXLS and we were brainstorming on how to improve the specification of styles. So I think there was a background to that question.
I would be happy. I would be happy to work with the people of OpenXLS. I would be really happy to do something with the time I have. I mean, we all have a limited time, but if people know that it can be slow, we can do things.
He just added there. Hi Mario. He just added there. Not compete, but improve. So
yes, yeah, but I like better the idea of going into OpenXLS than to create another product that do the same. I prefer the idea of trying to help OpenXLS or trying to do things useful for both.
I have some questions there, Urja, if you want to let me take over for a second. Okay, hi, David. Just tell us, actually, look, who is your main user base for officeverse? Yeah.
Clinical. I mean, pharmaceutical area first. I know Sanofi, L'Oreal a lot. Sanofi, some people in Pierre Fabre. I know a lot. I receive a lot of issue or question or people I talk to. A lot of pharmaceutical company using it. Some consulting company are using a lot the automatic generation. So a lot of people that sell service, automatic diagnostic and things like that with calculation in it. I am one of my best customer. I'm using a lot. Each time I'm creating half of my business. Yeah, last year was about creating shiny application, and all these application had a basket like add that to report, blah blah blah, download PPTX. So I'm using it a lot also.
Good stuff. So essentially, just to sort of like the basis of it being used so much in pharmaceuticals is regulatory reporting. Is that fair to say that government agencies prefer to work with Microsoft Word document?
Yes. Yeah, and that's very important to say that officedown has been found also. It helped a lot. It's not a, but this was a very great initiative. They said we'd like to benefit from more integration. We need that for the COVID-19, and it's not what make you live in a years, but that's really welcome. And actually, this is what gave the energy to put that on CRAN, to put the documents, and
Good stuff. I know for I use it myself actually, and it's also for regulatory reporting, creating documentation for that goes to government agencies.
Yeah.
Just sort of give us a little bit of a history of it. So just you said you worked on Reporter and you restarted the project. Was Reporter like similar in scope or had the same intention, but just you needed to restart the engineering? Is that correct?
I needed to restart the engineering because I have I wanted to go further. And I'm not passionate about Word, but I'm passionate about this development. It's really funny, and I was frustrated because it was more and more complicated to enhance or to correct some fix in the Java part. So I decided it was enough, spending too much time on unuseful tasks, and you say, okay, I know the solution is to start again. At the same time, I was Adler Wickham and I don't remember the quote, sorry, and he just they both output XML2 as in on CRAN. So I was like, wow, I don't need to use Java anymore. I can go directly attack the XML because I was kind of reluctant to go with RXML. I know, I had a lot of trouble with RJava. I didn't want to go into new trouble with RXML. So
I had a lot of trouble with RJava. Yeah.
So
yeah, good stuff. Just a sort of a quick remark now. These are things I know myself, but this is for the record for new users. So when you're creating a workflow for Officer, now let's say Word documents specifically, I'll be talking more about Word documents. And I think a lot of, the use cases I would be familiar with. You can import a, let's say a ggplot image or any image created with in R into your workflow immediately.
Yes.
And likewise a flextable or any image that's stored in.
Yes,
locally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's on slide there. Sorry. Yeah, there. That's the Word part.
Yeah.
So this is a ggplot object.
Yeah. So it's essentially that you can have a single unified flow where you're able to do your R calculations, your summary statistics, and create them into a flex table, and then add in the flex table into your document workflow and so on.
Yeah.
Just actually as a remark, and now this is something actually, if you were given a document, you were actually able to replace text with it as well. So if there's a sort of a pre-existing document, let's say a template or something like that,
you can
be able to edit the document.
Yeah, that's something I want to refactor actually. So that's why I didn't mention it. But yes, it's working now. You can replace some text that is labeled with a bookmarked. So that's quite easy. And you can use a cursor. Okay, wait 1 second. You can use a cursor concept, but that's so slow. Sanofi 2 years ago came back to me and said, this is so slow, you need to do something. And that's the point. This is the guilty part, the cursor. So I'd like to refactor that part that is relying too much on XML2, which is expensive in terms of memory sometimes. And this will also have some effect on the replacement feature. So I'd like to have something more clever, more easy. It's a lot of constraint. For example, if you put that, insert caption. So if you do that, the whole paragraph is selected. This is a wrong caption for me, because I'm not able to detect it. So you need to put the caption just on one word. So that single constraint is a hell to document first, is a hell to be understood by the user. So that's why refactoring need to happen on that part. I'll try to make it smooth so that nobody has to redevelop anything.
Good stuff. Just as a sort of quick remark, and again, this question is sort of focus, or sort of it's not really a question. You have a very good resource there on your website, and the ArData.fr GitHub. So you have a really good website there, and this is a sort of the book down document. This is a really great resource for anyone trying to sort of get the hang of it, because I think it's all there. I think I just need to, if you're using it, you just need to sort of work through the document and sort of you know, try it out bit by bit and sort of see what is there. I think it's a really good resource. Just as a sort of a quick question related to that, have you decided, have you thought about building up a little gallery, so to speak, like a little, you know, a demonstration? You know, here's a gist. That would be really great, actually, for new users to contribute little ideas as a great sort of
Yes,
skill.
I think I need to provide a way also to contribute to that gallery. So yes, that's definitely something I want to try in the next weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a few years ago, maybe it was Roman Francois. I think he had our graphics gallery website a few years ago. That was thank you, Roman.
That was a reference, and it has been refactored by because he didn't have time to go on with this work. So
no,
the new one is really nice also.
Yeah. That's it. So it's actually, I think if Ursula is there, we'll see how Ursula is. Have we got more questions? Or?
Yeah, I was just curious if you have any idea about the Python equivalent of what the package you have prepared, because, you know.
No, I don't know. I know there is one package, but Python. There is one package. Okay. Python.pptx, but I think it's much more technical. You need to know the underlying XML structure. I'm not sure. As I am not a Python user, I'm not sure I'm a great.
Yep.
But you see, you have to master you have to understand core properties, shape, what is a connector. So I think it's a very good product, but someone should develop something upon that to make it easy to be used by user.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's see. Someone someday will create, or maybe is creating.
Probably is creating.
I think that is it. I think we'll wrap it up there because we sort of we've been here quite a while. So just actually, again, one more sort of remark that's sort of aimed towards career young people is that health sciences hit Delta dead clinical trials, pharmaceutical companies, that, you know, those are sort of solid employers for, you know, and if you're sort of, I would strongly recommend having a good, strong grasp of officeverse and flextable and stuff like that as part of your portfolio, you know, when you're doing a job interview, because it's sort of like, you know, really comes across well, you know, because for a lot of jobs, this will be sort of part and parcel of what is expected. I think a lot of people around the world are going to be thanking you, David, for your in the future. They don't know it now, but in the future, they'll be really grateful for the work you've done here.
Cool. Thank you. I'm happy to do that. It's fun. Sometimes I'm not happy because I'm tired, but then you get rest.
Yeah. All the questions I send you. David, we will leave it there. Thank you very much. Again, just to sort of thank first off, thank our sponsors, Jumping Rivers. Also, the R user groups have joined us today. I know we had a few here from Vienna and Barcelona and Athens and so on. You're there in the chat, and a few, of course, our regular folks in Poland and Ireland, so on, in the UK. And again, people all around the world, if you want to give an R talk or R webinar in the future, please reach out to us. We are delighted to, you know, accommodate lots of our interesting R user groups, and if you know our talks and so on. And if you have something that you'd love to share with us, we'd love to hear from you. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ursula. And again, thank you, David. We'll leave it there.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Bye. Now, I'm going to stop the stream. Now, there we go. End.